Have you ever decided that you're going to lose weight? So you drop your calories, and after following a really low calorie diet for a few weeks, you jump on the scale and you haven't seen any results? Well, if that's the case, in today's video, I'm going to explain to you why your calories being too low might actually be affecting your weight loss results. My name is Raul, and I'm a nutrition coach and personal trainer, and I've worked with people for the last 15 years. And one of the really common things that I see with people when I first start working with them is I try and ask them to see how many calories they're consuming on a day-to-day basis. Then I create a program and I work out how many calories they should be eating so they can be in a deficit. And one of the things that people often realize is that they can eat a lot more food than they thought and still lose weight. Now, some people are on 1,200 calorie diets, some girls are on 1,000 calorie diets, some men are on 1,500 calorie diets while being 6 foot. And sometimes they're hiring me because they're not seeing results by themselves. And one of the main reasons why this is happening is because they're following a diet that is too low for them. What I mean is, when you make your calories too low for your body type and for your activity level, you're gonna find it very hard to stick to that. And this very common thing is going to happen, which is basically you're going to be on a very low, strict calories for maybe 3 to 4 days of the week. And then Friday comes around and now you're gonna have no self-control or self-discipline left. Because self-discipline is like a jar. It's full to start with at the start of the week. But then the more you use it, by the end of the week, there's nothing left in that jar. If you follow something that is too hard to follow, it's going to be very hard for you to be strict with it on the weekends when most people actually ingest most of their calories. Instead, what most people should be doing is not following a calorie deficit that is too strict, but something that is more manageable. And even though that sounds boring to start with, if you follow this for a longer period of time than just a week or 2 weeks, and you can stick to it for 3 or 4 weeks, you're gonna actually start noticing body fat loss from your body. A lot of the time, people go through this yo-yo dieting phase where they go really hard for a week, they fail on Wednesday or Thursday, they give up, they start again the next Monday, and then they start every single week not fully enjoying themselves. Instead, trust me when I say, make sure that your calories are not too low, but just slightly into a deficit, and see if you can maintain that and sustain that for the entire week. Another reason why your calories might be too low for you and for your activity levels is if you're finding that when you start following a diet, your gym starts to suffer. A lot of people find that once they start dropping their calories, they start losing the energy that they used to have to go to the gym 3 to 4 times a week. They might even start noticing that their step count starts dropping because your body's not silly. It's going to conserve energy if it can. Your body's really smart and efficient at getting you to burn less calories when it notices that less calories are coming in. This is where having something like a step target can be really helpful to ensure that you're still keeping your activity levels really high despite the fact that you are dropping your calories. Starting with something like a step target can be really good because it's something that you can include into your everyday life that's not going to ask you to find an extra hour to go to the gym. Once you've been able to hit your step target while you're in a deficit, then you should prioritize going to the gym and doing some type of strength training, because when you're in a deficit, your body is going to start losing a little bit of muscle as well as body fat. And we want to make sure that we're lifting heavy so we can preserve that muscle and we don't end up losing it, because when we lose muscle, our metabolism then starts to drop. And when our metabolism starts to drop because we have less muscle on our frame, then we need to go on an even bigger deficit, and that becomes a roller coaster ride that you don't want to be a part of. The last reason why you don't want your calories to be too low is because if you start with your calories really low to begin with, it gives you no place to go in the end. One of the things that I like to do with most of my clients is when we start working together, whether it's for 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 12 weeks, half a year, or even a year, we're going to start with a slight deficit. The reason why we do that is as we work together for a longer period of time, we can then increase that deficit, which means we can keep getting results. But if you create too large of a deficit straight away, what's going to happen is your body's eventually going to adapt, which means then you're going to be essentially starving yourself to see results progressively. You're always going to be better off doing the least amount of work you need to get the largest amount of results. This doesn't just apply to your diet, this also applies to the gym. If you're not going to the gym at all, you don't need to start doing a training program that has German volume in it, which to anyone who doesn't know, that's doing 10 sets of 10 squats. You can probably just start with doing a basic 3 sets of 8 to 12 reps. And guess what? Your body's probably going to grow from that, and it's going to see results from that, because right now you're doing 0. It's the same thing with your diet. If right now you're eating whatever you want, you're ordering Domino's pizza twice a week, you're getting McDonald's takeaway, and you're getting chocolate bars at the servo every single time you stop to fill up for petrol, if you just start following a diet that has a little bit of deficit and you become mindful about what you eat, you're going to see results really quickly because you've made a huge, vast improvement on the type of calories that were coming in, and your body's going to start burning fat. Choosing the right calories when you start to go on a diet is really key and important to ensure that you're able to see long-term success. So if you are doing a diet right now, make sure that you're starting on a very small deficit so that every 4 to 6 weeks or 12 weeks, you're able to decrease those calories a little bit lower, and that way you're able to consistently see more and more results. Now, if you're someone who's starting your journey and you need some help, I've got a free calorie calculator in the link below. You can utilize it, calculate your calories so that you can start seeing results straight away. And if you're someone who'd like to work together, then I've got my waitlist open below for the next challenge, which is going to start in a couple of weeks. Make sure to register your interest there, and I'll send you details for when that's ready to launch.